how are ya? Welcome back to my channel. I have a story time video today, and it is an absolutely wild story. It is honestly more serious in hindsight than I realized at the time, but two steps back. I'm Michel. If you don't know me, I am an actress here in Los Angeles, and I have been a signed represented actress since the age of 9, but I moved to LA when I was 18 to pursue it a little bit more seriously. And earlier this week, I had a video come out talking about what it's really like to be an actor in LA and a little Q&A, and I had a comment asking, have you ever had like a casting couch situation? Is that even real? And it kind of spurred this memory in my mind where it definitely was not a casting couch situation, but it was a very odd, manipulative, catfished situation that, as I said, in hindsight is very serious. So at first I was like, this would make for a crazy story time because so many weird things happened, and I honestly blocked a lot of this out of my memory. I kind of downplayed it and I kind of just deleted it from my mind because it was very odd and very uncomfortable. So in preparing for this video, I actually went back through all of my old emails about this story, and looking at this from a 23-year-old perspective is so different as to experiencing it when I was 18. And looking back at this, I am beyond horrified that this happened. It went from me being like, this would make a really interesting story time to like, oh my gosh, I'm so surprised nothing worse happened to me. And now I feel obligated to make this video to kind of be a cautionary tale for any other young females in this industry, young people in this industry, or just young people in general that might write off gut instinct because they think that they're naive, when in actuality gut instinct is very important. So I want to give a little, I guess, trigger warning that though nothing bad happened to me, it's incredibly wild that nothing did. So if me explaining how I got into the situation might bring up anything from your past or from your story, I just want to put that out front right now that maybe this isn't the video for you to watch. Because like I said, in hindsight, this is so much more serious than I realized. Those are all my disclaimers. Let's get into the video. Okay, I tried my best to write out everything that happened piece by piece, and a lot of this was jogged in my memory from reading old emails and from looking through my camera roll. I actually still have pictures from 2016 in my camera roll from this time. And I also am going to change the name of everybody that was involved, and I'm going to not mention the production company or the name of the show or anything because this guy made it very clear in all of my communications with him that he has a lawyer and a legal team, and all of the emails that I have screenshots of have a little legal disclaimer at the bottom saying that this cannot be distributed. So basically I'm very afraid of being sued, but I don't care. I'm going to make this video anyways and just be cautious about it because it's important to share. So how did I get into this situation? Part 1 of this story is I self-submitted for this role. If you watched that actor Q&A video, you know what self-submitting is. I was 18, living in Los Angeles. I had a full team. So I had a manager, I had agencies, but I was very eager to work, so I would still self-submit for projects online through different casting platforms. So there's Casting Networks, LA Casting. This one was through Backstage, and I don't self-submit for anything anymore only because sketchy things like this can happen. But there was a role that I thought I would be perfect for. It was basically like 18 to 21-year-olds, like girl next door, kind of all the cliches of like, she's not the most beautiful girl in the room, but people are attracted to her for some reason, and like all the stupid things that are always in character breakdowns. But I was like, hey, that's my age range. I'm kind of girl next door-ish. Like, I'm gonna submit for this. And it was apparently a pilot that had been picked up for 12 episodes, a pilot season, 30-minute episodes for CBS. So I was like, wow, it's the lead role for a CBS pilot. Probably a red flag that I could self-submit for something that large. Usually doesn't happen. Normally an agency has to submit you for a role that large, but I self-submitted anyways. And I got this message back through Backstage Casting. I have a screenshot of it, and it says, I'm gonna change the writer producer's name to John. That's a very common cliche name. It says, Michel, it is your lucky day. As I was pulling up your profile, our producer, John, was walking by and saw your picture and said, quote, that looks like Danielle, which was the name. I think I could say the name of the role. You're not gonna be able to trace that down. That was a first from him. So we would like to set you up an audition either Wednesday, March 2nd or Thursday, March 3rd. Please let us know which is best for you. John will be personally sending you an email confirming your time and giving you the location and sides. Break a leg. I'm gonna name her Emma. From Emma. Spoiler alert, I don't think that Emma exists. I think it was all John. So I got that And I was like, oh my gosh, like what the heck? I forwarded it to my mom and I said, what the heck? And I also forwarded it to a producer friend that I knew was legitimate because I had worked with him on a $50 million budget feature film. And I asked him, I said, am I being naive or is this legitimate? It's a pilot for CBS and I got this message through Backstage. I didn't see a response email from him. He might have texted me. I don't remember. Like I said, this was 5 years ago and I've blocked a lot out of my mind. But I went ahead and set up an audition, and it was at a casting studio where essentially people can like rent out a space to hold auditions and castings there. And it was a not super well respected casting studio here in LA. Occasionally I'll get like 1 or 2 auditions from my agents at the studio, but a lot of the time it is like lower end projects at this one casting studio. So I go and I go to the audition, and the writer producer, John, as we're calling him, it was only him and one other guy who I think was the director, I think. And John tells me that he is actually going to be playing the love interest. He is going to cast himself as the lead role. The love interest was supposed to be in his 20s and John was clearly in his 40s. He told me that he was like 30, which was definitely not true. So he was the writer, the producer, the lead actor, and also at my very first audition. Huge red flag. Normally your first audition isn't even with the casting director, it's with the casting director's assistant. Then your callback is with the casting director. Then your callback after that might be with the producer. And then if you have a chemistry read, there might be you go through so many hoops before you actually see anybody important in an audition room. So, you know, did the audition, read with him, he did the scene with me, whatever, it went well. I got an email saying I got a callback, and it was essentially asking me if I would come in, he loved me for the role, if I would come in and do a callback. And mind you, I had a manager at this time, so I was keeping my manager in the loop on all of this, and my manager was like, I mean, yeah, it's a little unorthodox, but seems legit so far. He sent me, you know, his director's name, his lawyer's name, over and over, everything about where this was going to be playing. He set up my callback for the day before my birthday, March 18th. I was about to turn 19, and my family was actually in town for my birthday. And so my family drops me off at my callback. It was at the exact same place that we had our initial audition. And I get there and I go to the front desk and I tell them like, hey, I'm here for the audition for this project. And they're like, oh, we don't have that on our calendar today. And I was like, okay, weird. Let me email him and confirm that I'm in the right place. So I email him and I say, hey, just confirming I'm here today, March 18th, 2 p.m. Am I at the right spot? And I get this email back like an hour later. I sat at this place for an hour. It says, hey, Michel, I had to go to the hospital, but I am doing better. We will be sending you a revised schedule on Wednesday. I think we will be doing it next Thursday, but I'm not sure. Thanks, John. And he signs everything, President, CEO, Blank Productions. And then there's a massive legal disclaimer underneath that. Mind you, his email name is also CEO, his name. It's just weird. And I was like, he's in the hospital? Like, what? Why didn't he tell me this earlier? This is so odd. So I went ahead and rescheduled it. Then I get an email from his email address, but it was signed as his assistant. And it says, hey, Michel, this is Emma. I'm answering John's email. He's meeting with the network today, but wanted me to respond to you. He would like to speak to you tonight. Please give him a call anytime after 6 p.m. Thanks a bunch. Emma for John, and then all of his stuff, but it came from his email, meaning I really don't think that this person exists. I think that every single interaction I had with another person was him. So I give him a call and he says that he wants to set up a chemistry read, which is essentially like a callback with the other person that they have in mind for the other lead role, him. And he wants to do this scene that has a ton of kissing in it. Mind you, I'm 18, 19 at this point by like a day or two, and he's in his 40s. And I was just incredibly uncomfortable, but I was like, okay, I guess this is how it goes. There was nobody else at this chemistry read. There wasn't a director. It was just me and him at this exact same studio. He made me do this kissing scene with him over and over and over. And it was so incredibly uncomfortable, so unprofessional in hindsight. But I was like, I'm an actor. Like, I had kissed other people for other projects, given it was being filmed and it was with someone my age, and it was way less weird. So we had like a 2-hour chemistry read, and then he was like, okay, great, that went awesome. And then he goes, by the way, this is to say thanks for your time, and pulls out his pocket and gives me like $300 in cash. And I was like, I mean, I was 18 working at a restaurant. I wasn't gonna be like, no, keep your money. You know, I was like, okay, thanks. Like, thanks for valuing my time. I took myself to a very nice dinner that night. But what? Like, it's so odd. It's so weird. But here's the part that gets absolutely insane. So mind you, he tells me it's between me and this one other girl for the lead role, and he wants to fly me to Dallas for a callback, kind of like in front of the network with all the people involved in the production, to do that scene again in front of the whole production company, in front of the network, in front of the clients, in front of everybody. I ask my manager, you know, my manager's in on all this. I see a ton of red flags, obviously, but this is just where it gets so weird. So he sets up my flight for me to fly to Dallas. He sets up my hotel for me to go to Dallas. I'm supposed to fly in, I don't know, let's say like Monday night, and then Tuesday was supposed to be my big audition, Tuesday morning in front of the network. And it basically is between me and one other girl, be in this really big show for CBS. I fly to Dallas. I actually still have some pictures from this time of, you know, packing up and being in the airplane. And I get there and he picks me up. He picks me up alone, which is red flag number 12. I don't know what number we're on. So odd that the writer, producer, lead actor picks me up from the airport and takes me to the hotel to check me in to my room. You should give me a per diem to get an Uber, or you should have arranged a driver. It's just so odd and unprofessional, but I was 18. I didn't know any better. The hotel was really nice. I was trying to remember. I think he did walk me up to my room and I felt very uncomfortable, but I don't think I allowed him in the room with me. I think I kind of like, okay, bye. But the hotel was super nice. I have some video footage of the room. I was like, I can't believe this is paid for, because it was probably like a $400 a night hotel, like a very nice hotel. There was even like a built-in TV in the mirror in the bathroom, which I thought was so cool. It was also, though, very odd that in my hotel room, there was just a bucket of beers. And I was like, what? I'm 18, this is so odd. Which I don't know if that was his doing or the hotel's doing. I mean, it's Texas, might just be part of their welcome. But he tells me to get dressed and he's going to take me to dinner. Which is also so odd, also so unprofessional. It really should be like, this is a paid for business trip, so here's your per diem, explore the city, get dinner, whatever, be here tomorrow morning for your callback. That's how it should be, but no. He says, I'm gonna pick you up, we're gonna go to dinner. And I kind of was like, well, I'm not allowed to say no to that, right? So we go to dinner. It was very odd. Gets to be late in the night and he walks me back to the hotel and he's like, let's go get some drinks in the lobby. And I was like, what is going on? Like, this is so odd in my mind, of course. And I was kind of like, okay. He's like, I want to talk to you about like some more things about the project, kind of thing. And so we sit down at this bar. I'm 18 and I don't remember what he orders to drink at first, but I just say, oh, I'll just have a water, thanks. And he goes, how about you have some coffee? Because I think this is going to be a late night. And I was like, what? And he said, how about you order some coffee? Because I'm sure you're tired from traveling. This is going to be a late night. And I said, I don't drink caffeine after 5 p.m. and I'm really hoping to go to bed early tonight because I want to be well rested for tomorrow. And he got so incredibly mad. He was like, why won't you drink coffee? And I was like, I don't want to stay up. I want to be able to be well rested and be prepared for the audition tomorrow. Like, that's the reason I'm here. He absolutely blew up on me. He said, you're not serious about this project. I don't think that you'd be equipped to handle days on set. There's going to be 12-hour days on set, and if you're not willing to stay up tonight and talk to me, then you're clearly not capable of staying up for a 12-hour day on set and acting, and we only need serious people for this project, and I don't think you're serious for this project. He gets up and leaves, and I'm just like absolutely stunned. I'm sitting there and I'm like, how did me saying, no thank you, I don't want coffee right now, go from that to this? I did not know what to do. I went up to the room, got ready for bed, went to bed. The next morning, I get a text from him or a call from him or something saying, like, meet me down at the lobby. I meet him down at the lobby and he walks me outside. It's kind of like a hotel across from this park. And he essentially tells me, I canceled the meeting with the network today. I don't think that you're the right person for this role, and we're going to give the role to the other girl that is being considered for this role. And I'm embarrassed to say I started bawling because I was like, what manipulation is happening to my emotions right now? Like, you flew me to Dallas. I was uncomfortable this whole time, and you made me sit at a bar at 11 p.m. at night in a hotel with you, and because I didn't want coffee, you canceled this meeting with the network, and you're not giving me the role, and I'm just flying home today. Like, I truly think there was no meeting set up all along. I truly think it was just a catfish scam to get me to fly out to his city and to spend time with me. Like, I don't know if he would have slipped something in my coffee. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but just so many terrible things could have happened that night. And the fact that he was so offended that I would not stay up and chat with him and drink coffee was so odd. To be honest, I don't remember how I got back to the hotel. I really don't. I mean, back to the airport, I don't remember if he drove me or if I took an Uber. I can't remember that. I remember him picking me up in like this very flashy car that I think was a rental. It was like a Lamborghini, but I remember being 18 and being like, this is not your personal car. So I don't know if he drove me back in that. Like, my brain was, I think, just like in shock, and I just deleted whatever happened after that point. So part 5, the aftermath. I kind of went home and forgot about it. I called my manager as soon as I got back to LA and I told him everything, and I was like, this was the weirdest thing. And he was like, I thought it was unorthodox, but I thought that there could be some legitimacy to it, so I'm so sorry that you basically went through that. I have a different manager now that would have definitely protected me from that. I love my manager now. I've had him for 4 years, and he's like a father figure. This guy, I just think he was also naive and didn't care enough. So I was like, I don't want to see that guy ever again. Like, that was so odd. A month or 2 goes by. He's apparently in pre-production with the other girl as the lead, and he reaches out to me, essentially saying that the other girl was like a diva and is no longer working with her. What I think is, I think that she genuinely realized what was going on as well and kind of had the same experience where she might have pushed back a little and he probably blew up. That's just my guess. I can't jump to conclusions. But he tells me that he wants to reconsider me for the role. He really loved me for the role. He's sorry about what happened in Dallas. Also, I called my mom before filming this, trying to remember everything that happened. My mom is so like sad that this even happened because we both trusted my manager and we were both just kind of like naive to this. And she was like, I don't want people to think I was a bad mom. And I was like, Mom, I was living alone. I was in a different city. Like, this was me. I had a manager. Like, this is not on you. But I was talking through it with her, trying to remember everything that happened. And apparently my manager, I think, confronted him and they got in some sort of huge argument. I think my manager was just like, I can't believe you did this to my client kind of thing. I don't remember. But John reached out to me directly and basically said, I want to reconsider you for the role. And I really wish I had the text receipts. Like I said, I have the email receipts, but I really wish I had the text receipts. But I essentially told him, no, like, I don't want to go through all of that over again. And I don't essentially believe that this is a legitimate opportunity. And he just threw a fit, like called me all kinds of things. And it was so odd. It was so incredibly odd. Every single thing about it. From the hospital to getting emails from his email signed by different random people to the fact that I only met one guy in real life, just this random guy that was supposed to be the director. He did not seem like a director at all. There was nobody else in the auditions. I never met a network. The fact that he paid me cash after a chemistry read where he made me kiss him in a scene over and over, like flying me out to Dallas and blowing up over some coffee after taking me to dinner, and everything is so incredibly odd. And like I said, I wanted to share this story. Initially, I was like, oh yeah, that was a weird experience. But looking back at it now, I'm still young. I'm still naive. I'm only 23, but I have much more of a worldview experience. I just want to tell you, if you are ever in a situation that you have a gut instinct that things aren't right, if you feel red flags, don't put yourself at risk for an opportunity. No opportunity is worth that risk. And oftentimes your gut instinct is right. Like, we know when things aren't right. We do. I just want to let other people know, especially if you're in the industry, like, always be cautious. There's so many weird, manipulative people out there. I don't self-submit for anything anymore. I would honestly probably encourage people to only go to auditions through their agents and their managers because there are so many weird, schemy things out there. But I just wanted to share this story with you because it is absolutely wild, and I am so surprised that I genuinely wasn't kidnapped. All the opportunities I put myself at risk there alone with a stranger man flying to a different city, all because I thought that I was going to be cast in a lead role in a pilot for CBS, is absolutely so insane. And I have no idea what he's up to now. He's basically disappeared from the internet. So clearly that never went anywhere. Clearly it wasn't true. It's just wild. But I hope you enjoyed this story. I really wish I could have remembered all the details, but it was really hard for my brain to try to piece everything together based off of the emails and the photos and everything that I had. Yeah. I love y'all so much. This is a very different type of video than I normally do on my channel, but I love you with my absolute whole heart. I hope you have the best rest of your day, and I will see you in a video very soon. Bye.